You'd almost forget that people can make all different kinds of games. You watch E3 every year and you see an almost endless cavalcade of generic looking shooters and samey open world games. It can be hard to remember that video games can be literally anything. Then a game like Untitled Goose Game comes along. A game so enigmatic, it doesn't even have a name. A game so different, so novel, so fun, and so charming that it stands neck and beak above the gaggle. It reminds you of the sheer variety and endless creativity that games can provide. So basically, what I'm saying is Untitled Goose Game has restored my faith in video games. There's a box quote if I ever saw one. Untitled Goose Game is a stealth puzzle game where you move between 5 different unique sections of a small town. Each section has its own to-do list, a set of tasks you must complete to proceed. Tasks is probably the wrong word. You play the game as a disruptive goose, tormenting the village and interfering with the poor souls who live there. You basically spend the entire game ruining their day. Whether you're getting the groundskeeper wet or stealing his keys, getting on TV or going shopping, the mischief your loathsome goose can get up to is always charming. Those innocent bystanders are just going about their business, running their shop or tending their farm, but your terrible goose unleashes chaos on their lives. They deserve it, don't get me wrong, for getting between your vile goose and its goals. The goose is the anti-hero we need. There are 2 major moods, 2 major playstyles you can take Untitled Goose Game on with. There's stealth, where you plan and execute your goose maneuvers quietly and precisely. The aim being to get in, complete your goal, and get out, all while the townsfolk are blissfully unaware the dreadful goose is even there. Playing like that ends up being closer to a Hitman game more than anything else, bizarrely enough. You study the patterns of the NPCs, assess the items in the area you have available to use as distractions, and execute your plan. There's a lot less murder, a lot lower body count in Untitled Goose Game. Nobody gets hurt, just occasionally trapped in a phone booth. The other way you can play the game, and honestly, it's my preferred method, is through utter chaos. Turn your horrid goose into a weapon of mass distraction, honking everywhere, grabbing things, dropping them all over the place, being as loud and annoying and disruptive as possible until you complete your tasks. This turns the game from stealth into complete farce, and it's delightful, as everybody around you panics, tries to tidy up after you, and over time puts up no goose allowed signs. You can marvel at the disturbance you're causing, and usually sneak away that toilet paper you needed in the process. There are a few of the tasks where the solution feels a little too random, but you can mostly work out what to do by assessing your surroundings or through a little bit of trial and error. The way the wretched goose moves is pure whimsy. In stealth mode, it ducks its long neck down. You can furiously flap its wings. Its general walking animation is a slow, charming trundle as it waddles left to right with its little tail following along. You accelerate up to a full, uncontrollable straight line run as your detestable goose careens towards its destination. It lends a degree of physical comedy to just about everything you do, as everybody reacts to your absurd goose and its antics. The score brilliantly underlines this. Much of the game plays out in silence as you slowly make your way around each environment assessing the options. However, as you approach one of your tasks or the townsfolks, a piano track kicks in, not to amp up the tension, but to underline the humour, to add to the farce. As your rotten goose closes in on its target, those piano tracks amplify the silliness of everything. It ties the whole absurd experience together. Whenever your plans go awry and you have to flee somebody in full goose run with the music kicking in, it's akin to the Benny Hill theme playing, but better. Not enough video games are packaged full of whimsy. Whimsy is wonderful and delightful and charming and really carries this entire package. This game is just whimsy personified. It's extremely refreshing to play a game with stakes as low as Untitled Goose Game. There is absolutely no punishment for failure in the game. You just come back and try again and again. There's nothing to kill, nothing to fight, no game overs, no power-ups, no collectibles, just a goose and some goals. Even the way the game ties together at the end is just delightfully mundane and gives the sense of a complete world that you just happen to be playing a little chunk of. Untitled Goose Game is a breath of fresh air, a superb palate cleanser in an industry full of endless open world games and tiresome shooters. A brilliant, legitimately funny, minimalist, yet still beautiful, silly, laid-back game full of character and whimsy, where you get to live out your dreams of inflicting foul play on everybody around you. Whenever this reprehensible goose finds new locales to torment, I'll gladly dive in again. Untitled Goose Game gets 8.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Untitled Goose Game is another in a line of the game is 2 or 3 hours including post-game content. And I love games that length so much. I love games that you can just sit down, play, get a full experience. It's a full, complete experience. It's everything this game should and needs to be, and then it's done. And I love it. You can follow me on Twitter at GarrickNEGA or GTKIDNEY. On your left, a review of Sayonara Wild Hearts. On your right, a review of Devil May Cry 2. Thanks for watching.